6 weeks out from me putting in my 2 weeks notice, I'm tossing and turning in the bed trying to think, how am I going to do this? And then I remember an executive spoke to me one time and he said, don't burn bridges.
Yeah.
Blow that shit up. Because you never want to look back in life on the decisions that you made. So let me backtrack. I am a proud graduate of the mighty Morgan State University. That's right. Applause needed. When I graduated with an accounting degree. And I'm thinking when I come out of school, boom, it's going to be easy. I'm going to get a job, be an accountant, and it's off to the races. But it didn't happen like that for me. I had a difficult time finding a job because I could not articulate my experiences when I went into interviews. But I did end up getting a job. I ended up working at some crazy place called MCI WorldCom. We got some loyal members. Okay. I hated that place. I didn't hate it, but I just hated the fact that I was not following my purpose. And I wanted to be this accountant and a proud graduate and make my mother and my father proud, but it wasn't working the way I expected it to. So I became a little depressed about this whole situation. But I remembered, I said, you know what, I need to find a way out. How am I going to do this? So I went to a place of comfort. I went in my mother's basement because I always look for books in my mother's basement. That's where I found Malcolm X's autobiography. That's why I learned to grow myself and change my life. And I found this book on yoga. It was a book published in the 1950s, no pictures in there, but I was drawn to it. So I took it home and I started reading it and I started practicing yoga. I started meditating and things started to clear up a little bit. And then one day while I was at work, this church elder, this little old lady, probably about yay tall, came up to me one day. She said, Gregory, I need to talk to you. And I said, yes, ma'am. Yes, Miss Willie Mae. Because Miss Willie Mae, you don't play around with Miss Willie Mae, right? Okay. She came up to me. She said, Gregory, you need to write down your questions for God, listen for the answer, and write down the answer. And I started crying. Tears balling down my face, out the blue. I was in a happy mood. I was good. Until Miss Willie Mae said that to me. I was just crying because she reminded me of my grandmother who had passed away a few years earlier. And once I pulled it together, I thought about what she said, and I went home and I grabbed some index cards. And I started writing down questions, listening for the answer. And then the answers came, and I started writing down those answers. And it was real for me. Now, I don't remember exactly what those questions and answers were, but I know it was so powerful to me that I had to keep following this process. One thing was clear, though, that came out of that whole thing is that I wanted to own a restaurant. And I don't got no money, and I can't cook. That's not good for owning a restaurant. So I asked God, I said, well, is this what you want me to do? God said, absolutely, this is what I want you to do. But I can't cook, and I don't got no money. And God said, are you willing to learn how to cook? And I was like, okay, yeah, sure, I'm willing to learn how to cook. So God said, follow me. So I started hanging out in the bookstore, getting cookbooks. I started hanging out in the library, siphoning off recipes, and I started cooking and practicing day in and day out, bringing food to work with me. Now the food at first, okay, it was kind of bland, I must admit. You know, I love to brag about my stuff, but at first, Joe was tired, okay? It was tired. But then as I practiced, I got better and better until one day a coworker came to me. She reached over my cubicle, she was like, G, what's that you got over there? I want to taste some of your food. And I said, sure, no problem. So I let her taste it, and she said, bring me some tomorrow. I'll pay you for it. And I was like, ooh, here we go, son. Here we go. So I started doing that. I started bringing food for her, and then a couple of other people started asking, and I started bringing food for them here and there. But then I got kind of lost in it, because just because you cook dinners at work, don't make you a restaurant owner, right? Okay, so I started bringing it, but I just got complacent. I got lost in my vision. And I just got caught up in the day-to-day life. You know, you're just trying to live life, pay bills, you know. I don't know how to make this vision into a reality. I don't know. And then I got laid off from that job. And I was kind of thankful for that situation because, you know, we get comfortable in life. Sometimes we don't want to leave our current situation because it's comfortable. 401k, you getting money. Okay, I'm cool. It took long enough just to get a job. I don't want to go running around looking for another job, but I did not have a choice. God put me in a situation. Like, you got to go out and find another job, which I did. I found another job, and I just kind of left all those journals to the side because it's just about me working, making money, and maintaining. But then I got a phone call one day. A friend of mine called me who used to work with me at MCI. And she said, "Gee, I work for this company and they're putting on a free jazz concert in front of City Hall every first Thursday in the summertime."
Come on.
Huh, you know about it? It was called Jazzy Summer Nights. Okay? So she called me, she's like, "Look, we're doing this jazz concert. We need a vegetarian vendor out here. I know you're a vegetarian. Do you know anybody?" So I said, all right, I'm going to make a couple calls. I called a couple people that had restaurants, that were cooks and chefs, and they all said the same thing to me. They said, "We're not doing this event. There's too many black people out there. They're not going to eat the food." And I said, okay, no problem. Called my friend back, and then I thought to myself, I remembered the things I wrote down in my journals. And I was just sweating. Phone ringing, sweating. And then Yo-Yo picked up that phone. I said, "Yo, I'm going to do that joint." And I'm expecting pushback. She said, "No problem. Here goes the email. Here's the things you need. You need to set up at a certain time." Bang. So the day of the event, I'm in my house cooking. I'm just chefing it up, not knowing what I'm doing because I've never cooked for more than 2 people in my entire life. Okay, I'm rolling. I mean, there's oil here, there's onions here, there's garlic here, there's a pot on the floor. I don't know how that got there, but you know what I'm saying? There's stuff everywhere. The event was from 6 to 10. I get out there at 6 o'clock trying to set up this food. Yo-Yo comes over to me. She said, "G, I got a message from the guy putting this on," and he was like, "This ain't no nigga event. So just letting me know, like, get your shit together, bro. You supposed to be out here on time, ready to go." Anyway, I set this food up at 6 o'clock. 7 o'clock, the food was gone. We sold out. All we selling are waters and juices. And every time we went out there to sell food, we would just sell out of food. And I said, there is a market out here. How do I get to it? I need to recoup my money. So I went back in my journals and started writing again, asking questions, listening for the answer, writing down the answers. And so God was like, go look for another job that's going to pay you more money, that's going to give you the 401k. We're going to flip the bonus money and put it into this restaurant. Hey, come on now. And then all of a sudden, Verizon Wireless came up on this job search. And I was like, ugh, I'm not applying there, God. I can't do that. Because when I got laid off from MCI, I applied for Verizon Wireless. I got the job. I failed the drug test.
Come on, baby.
I failed the drug test. Where my mother at? Okay. I failed this drug test and I was like, there's no way. Now, meanwhile, I applied for a customer service rep position when I got laid off from MCI. When I applied, because God was like, nah, go ahead and apply. I was like, you sure they gonna know my information that I failed this? No, go ahead and apply. I applied for the job as a customer service supervisor. I got that joint. Woo! I got the job. I was like, it's real. I said, this stuff, this vision is becoming reality. Okay, let's work with it. So I started working there, and I was on a management team, and it was just a brand new management team. And I went to a meeting with all these supervisors, a couple of us in the room, and I sit down with my new co-workers, and I look across the table, and it's this fine, beautiful woman sitting across from me. And I am from Baltimore, in case you do not know, okay? So in my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna holler. I'm hollering. I'm getting this number. And God was like, slow down, okay? Pull it back. We're here for a mission. We're here to get this money and get this restaurant started. All I want you to say to her is hi and bye. She looks like Jennifer Lopez. God was like, nah, son, it's not your time. So I waited, because God got me that far, right? I'm writing in these journals, all this stuff is coming to fruition, like slowly but surely, but I'm feeling it. And so I was like, all right, bet. So nothing, for 5 months, hide and buy. Day before my birthday, Naja just jumps into my cubicle. Boom. Now she already looked like Jennifer Lopez. My daughter. She already looked like Jennifer Lopez, but she pops into my cubicle with the J-Lo wig on, with the hat cocked to the side, the sunglasses. She said, gee, you want to go out for your birthday? I'm like, oh, God. Oh, listen. You see this, right? I ain't do nothing. That's all I did. God was like, this your time. Go ahead. Right. So we started hanging out, and eventually she became my wife. Okay? Okay. So we started dating, and Naja is a baller. She used to put on shows up in New York, comedy shows. So when I told her about my vision, and she was telling me about hers, we just combined and connected. And then AFRAM came up. For those of you who don't know, AFRAM is the African American Heritage Festival. That's put on every summer here in Baltimore. Okay, so AFRAM came up in 2008, and we did AFRAM, and I'm just like, yeah, let's get it. You know, let's go ahead and get it. I'm gonna take the names, I'm gonna get the email addresses, we're gonna market this thing. I was like, all right, cool, I'm gonna sit in the back and cook. And we did that thing, and we just kept selling out of food. And I was like, yo, it's real, it's coming, it's coming. 2009, we did AFRAM again. Then in 2009, because we did AFRAM, Artscape called us and was like, yo, we seen you at AFRAM, we need a vegetarian vendor out at Artscape. Can you come on? And we're not even going to charge you as much as we charge everybody else. We just want you in a place. I'm like, sure. Again, we sold out of food. We just kept selling out of food. And then there I was, 6 weeks out, thinking, how am I going to put this 2 weeks notice in? So I walked into a manager's meeting one day, shorts, t-shirt, Land Kush logo on my shirt. Everybody else shirt and ties. My guy Derek, he's reading off numbers. He's looking at me like, you squirrely, son, but you okay. You know, he's reading off these numbers. He's going through, and he's paying me no attention. One of my managers standing next to me, she's like, gee, what the fuck is up, yo? What you doing? Like, why are you here in shorts? And I'm like, Nicole, just cool out. I'm gonna explain it in a minute. So Derek finishes reading the numbers. And just before my senior manager got up to speak, I said, Jacqueline, just give me 1 second before you talk. I just want to let everybody know why I'm here in shorts and a t-shirt with this Land Kush logo on it. I said, I found a location for my restaurant, and I'm here to tell you I'm putting in my 2 weeks notice. Okay? No. Cheering. Just imagine being in a conference room and everybody just erupts and cheers. People outside the room looking and trying to see what's going on. And I'm thinking to myself, that's how you blow that shit up.